Hey, Tammy, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that after the funeral today, we're all going to go out for a nice restaurant, so there's no need for you to worry about food today. And that means you don't have to worry about bringing along anything weird either. Got it?
Oh, hello, Cindy. Thank you for reaching out to tell me all of that. But don't worry, I wasn't even planning on bringing anything in the first place, so there's nothing to fret about it.
But of course there is. There's so much to worry about when it comes to you. I mean, who knows what some kind of person who didn't even finish high school like you might think to bring to a somber gathering like this. I just have no idea what someone like you might pull, and so that's why I'm trying to warn you now not to bring anything weird at all to the funeral or to the meal.
I really am sorry, but I don't think that I know at all what you're talking about. But I really wasn't planning on bringing anything out of the ordinary at all.
And I am telling you that you telling me that as someone who hasn't even graduated high school is as good as telling me nothing. I have no idea what someone like you might think is normal. Although, I do have to say that I am pretty scared to have to eat the same food as you and have to sit so closely to you while we are at the restaurant. I mean, who knows if your stupidity will rub off on me?
Cindy, I think you know that we've talked about this before, but I have graduated high school. I literally have my diploma, thank you very much.
Oh, please. You think the paper that says that you were admitted and a diploma are the same thing? This is really rich, you know that? I hope this is some kind of joke or something. Honestly, why do I even bother trying to have a conversation with you like this when I know that you'll never understand anything about what I'm talking about at all? You're just too stupid to get it through that thick skull of yours.
Wow. So I guess that you're just not even going to bother trying to hide the fact that you don't like me anymore, is that right? I mean, you know what I really just can't get? I can't get how someone as sweet as my brother-in-law could end up with someone like you. It really is just a complete mystery to me.
I think it's probably because your husband's brother just cares a lot about family, and he sees that I really respect my family. It's no wonder why he fell in love with me as quickly as he did. And honestly, I'm glad that he did. Him and I are just the perfect couple, and I know that when my parents grow old, he's going to be a good son-in-law and be there for them when they need him.
You know, I'm not quite sure that I like the way that you're talking about my brother-in-law like that. I mean, it sounds more like you might just want to use him more than anything else.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. These are just the kind of things that you have to think about when you're an adult getting married, you see. But I guess that's not something that I should really expect a dum-dum like you to even understand, isn't that right? And since your dad is getting up there in age, I doubt that he's going to be around for much longer. And you know what that means, right? It means that your brother is going to get a far inheritance check from him soon. All I have to do is play my part just a little while longer, and then I'll be swimming in more money than I even know what to do with. If I can just get through this, then my life is going to be smooth sailing from here on out. It's going to be just perfect.
Wait a second. You mean you don't even care about what happens to either of our families at all? You're just wanting to use them to enrich yourself? What's the matter with you?
Don't tell me you're one of those sentimental types who get all mushy about family, are you? One of these days, you're going to learn that everything in this world is just there waiting to be used. It's just about how good you actually use them.
I really don't even know what to say to you right now. I mean, this is so off topic anyways. But anyways, could you just please tell me where it is that everyone is going to go eat out after the funeral today?
Man, you really are clueless, do you know that? I can't believe that you even need me to tell you something like that. I mean, really, when are you finally going to get a clue? What is it like having to go through life always asking people to tell you things like that? Is it embarrassing? I really just don't know how I would live. Anyways, I lied to you. We're actually not going out, but we're going to have you pick up some things that we've already ordered from the restaurant. Now, your mom should have already paid for everything, so you'll be going to pick up 5 plates, got it?
Wait a second. 5 plates? Is that right? Are they to share something like that? Because there's 6 of us, you know.
Oh, man, are you really that you can't even count right either? What is your deal? Man, why do I always have to spell this kind of stuff out for you? I wanted you to get 6 things. Then I would have said 6, but the correct number is 5, and that is why I sent that message to you. Let's just take it from the top to make sure that you understand what's going on here. We have your parents, myself, my husband, plus your husband. That is 2 couples or 4 people, plus your 1 husband, which, if I did my math right, should equal 5 people. Now, do you have any problems with that? Do you get it? And make sure you don't end up ordering anything else either, okay? That's all we ordered, and that's all you should come home with.
I'm sorry, but I'm still just a little confused about what's going on here. I mean, aren't you forgetting someone with all of these dishes?
What are you talking about? Are you really going to make me go through all of this over again with you? Unless, oh, wait a second. You didn't think that we were going to be getting any food for you, did you? I mean, really? Did you actually think that I was inviting you to come and eat with us? Is that what you thought was going to happen? Because that is just ridiculous if that's what you thought I was saying all this time. I would be scared for you to even show up to the meal.
I'm sorry, now I'm really confused here. So you've ordered these meals to be made and picked up ahead of time. You knew that I was coming to the funeral today, and yet you didn't even bother to have a plate arranged for me?
Of course not. Don't you get that some little high school dropout like you doesn't deserve to eat such a nice meal with my amazing family? I mean, what would you even do surrounded by so many smart and successful people? Do you really think you would ever fit in a crowd like that? Honestly, sometimes I am just amazed by that tiny, pathetic little brain of yours. Is there even anything going on in there at all? How do you even function day to day? It just amazes me. Why would we even waste giving food like that to you? You wouldn't know what to do with a nice meal if it walked up to you and smacked you in the face. That's why we're not bothering to get you anything at all.
You know what, Cindy? I think that you are really starting to push me to my limits right now. I am starting to get just a little bit upset, and I really think you should back. You really need to stop talking to my daughter-in-law like this.
Your daughter-in-law? What are you talking about? Unless... Wait a second. Is this... Frank?
I can't believe that she would try and keep you from enjoying some nice food with the rest of us. I mean, the whole reason I wanted to go somewhere nice was because it had been so long since we'd all had a chance to eat out together as a family.
But I don't understand. How did you even know that Cindy was trying to exclude me from something like that in the first place? I never said anything to you at all.
Oh, come on. You think I don't know my own daughter well enough to know when she's up to her usual tricks? I saw the faces that she was making while typing out all those horrible messages to you and knew that she was up to no good.
Oh, well, I really am so sorry to get you involved in this. I mean, we weren't really going to start a scene or anything like that. It's just that when I heard the way she was talking to me, I was so shocked that she was just being so frank about her feelings as far as I was concerned.
Well, I really don't think there's all that much to even be surprised about when you really think about the kind of person that my daughter is. I mean, I know that she's been making fun of you for a while, all because you never graduated high school or something like that. Isn't that right? Well, I want you to know that I also only have my GED. So, if you don't deserve a good meal with all of us, then I suppose that I shouldn't be eating out with you all either, right?
But I mean, I just had no idea about this. I didn't even know what to say right now.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get in between what you and my daughter were talking about, but I just couldn't stand the way that she was treating you. I mean, it was just completely unfair. I mean, I know that I was taking on a lot of responsibilities, but a lot of power as well when I took over this company from my parents. I guess maybe I just didn't think about the effect it might have on my children. Besides, when my parents did pass away, I didn't have the chance to finish high school since I was so busy running things back then. And this was when the company was much smaller, mind you.
Frank, I don't know what to say. That's so incredible that you've managed to accomplish all that you have in your life.
Well, I suppose that I've always just been a hard worker ever since I was little. But then again, I know that you're just as hard a worker as I am. I can see it in your face. And that's why I just couldn't stand to see my daughter talking to you the way she was. That girl just has no idea how to even show the bare minimum of respect to others. I'm only sorry that I didn't realize what she was doing earlier on. I just want you to know that my wife and I want you to feel cared for in this family. And I really had no idea that Cindy was talking to you like this for so long. I'm just embarrassed that it went on this long.
Well, I don't think that you need to blame yourself for any of this at all. In fact, I'm sorry for not coming to you about this sooner, but I really don't want you to think that I blame you for any of this at all. I just didn't know that I could really go to anyone about this in the first place. But I really am sorry to have started any kind of friction between you and your daughter.
Oh, Tammy, you really are such a sweet woman. Did you know that? I mean, really. Thank you so much for even wanting to try and make me feel better about this. But the thing is that I've known my daughter for a long, long time now, and I just don't think there's much that anyone can do for her at all. Besides, unfortunately at the end of the day, the one thing that I learned is that my daughter is just too cute. She can get away with whatever she wants to.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm sorry, I don't think I quite follow what you're meaning by that last message.
So I just hope that maybe you can find it in yourself to let this go. I know that it's unfair to ask of you, but for the sake of my family, it would mean so much. Of course, if you don't wish to, I completely respect that as well.
I really had no idea just how kind you all would be to me. Even now, I can see you wanting to balance your duties to your family and to your extended family. And that's why, although it pains me to say, I still don't think that I can forgive Cindy for the way that she's treated me. But I just want you to know that I don't think she has any idea just how lucky she is to have a family like you. But I can't let someone talk that way to me about my family and get away with it.
I completely understand. You have to do what you have to do, and I'm not going to be the one to stop you.
I can't believe that you would embarrass your own father-in-law like that. I mean, really, what were you thinking? Oh, wait, that's right. You weren't thinking at all because you're an idiot.
What in the world could you possibly be calling about now, Cindy?
Don't you play dumb with me. I know how you embarrass your father-in-law, and that's why he felt like he had to apologize to you.
I didn't do anything at all. I went out to eat with the rest of your family, and your dad was kind enough to stick up for me and not eat. He said that if I wasn't good enough to enjoy any of that food, then he wasn't either.
Oh, just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about at all. Do you really think that a man of his stature would actually feel the need to stick up for you like that? I don't know what you did, but you had better realize just how humiliated you made my father and go and apologize to him right now.
I really don't think that I need to do that. I mean, has he even asked you to ask this of me? Why are you trying to make me do this?
What are you talking about? How dare you talk back to me as if you know anything about this family at all? You're just an idiot who should have never married into this family to begin with. Honestly, if I could have my way, I would just force you and my brother to get a divorce already. I can't stand having you hang around my family.
Well, I'm sorry, but I think that you're missing is that this family is growing whether you like it or not. And I don't think that I have ever in my entire life met someone as nasty as you. But if you're going to talk to and about my family like this, then I see now that I have no choice but to stand up for and protect my family. And I am going to make you regret treating me this way.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all. Although, frankly, you probably don't know what you're talking about either. I mean, really, are your brains just oozing out of your ears at this point or something? Tammy, did you really think that you were going to get somewhere by tattling on me to my husband? I bet you thought you were so clever, but I've already seen through this stupid scheme of yours. And I told him all about the crazy lies that you've come up with about me, so nobody is ever going to believe a word that you have to say again.
I mean, you caught me. I won't lie. I did go and talk to your husband about some of the things that you've been saying to me.
I knew that it was you. His confronting me had your grubby little prints all over it. Of course, no wonder the plan fell apart so quickly when the person who made it hasn't even graduated high school.
Well, I didn't just talk to him. I also showed your husband all of the evidence that I gathered against you. I mean, really, did you think that I was going to make complaints about you if I didn't at least have the evidence to back it up? So don't worry. It's not just my word that he has to go off of. I showed up all the texts that we sent to one another. I also showed him videos and pictures and voice recordings that I taken. I have proof of you being abusive towards me in at least 4 different mediums at this point. And I have to say, your husband just looked so let down.
Wait a second. Did you really do all that? Is it supposed to be some kind of joke? How could you do this to me?
Well, you were the ones saying that there was no way a plan created by someone as stupid as me could ever work, right? But I've been putting up with you for a long time now. You've thrown away food that I was saving for later. You've covered my room in garbage that you wanted me to take out. You do all kinds of horribly petty things that I think most people would have grown out of by middle school.
Wait a second. Did I really do all of that? Are you sure? That doesn't sound like me. I would never do something like that.
If you've actually forgotten all that you've done to me, then that just goes to show what a horrible person you really are. Do you know that? I remember one day when I went out, I came back to find all my clothes ripped up and destroyed. I asked if you knew what had happened to them, and you said it wasn't your fault that all my clothes were so cheaply made. There have even been times when you've destroyed pairs of shoes that I've owned, and I've had to go out practically barefoot.
Okay, I really don't remember doing any of these kinds of things at all. You're just playing a delusional victim, and I don't have to sit here and take all of this. I mean, do you even have proof about any of these things at all? Because I seriously doubt that you do, since I didn't do any of it.
I told you that I had plenty of proof, didn't I? I know that you think I'm nothing but a moron, but I'm more clever than you think. I've been biding my time and waiting, gathering up all the proof that I would need for this, and now the time is finally right.
But wait a second. Were you really just trying to gather evidence on me this whole time? You can't be serious, right? You wouldn't really do that to your own sister-in-law, would you?
Oh, but I really would is the thing. Every time that you and I have gone out somewhere, I have a voice recorder on me keeping track of all the horrible, nasty things that you say about me.
You mean you've been bugging our conversations? How could you do that? I thought we were family. I thought that I could trust you, but you were just trying to catch me on a hot mic?
I wasn't trying to catch you doing anything, if you really want to know. I wouldn't have to even work hard if I did want to catch you. But I just knew that you would fight this to the bitter end if I didn't have all my ducks in a row. And that's why I made sure to have plenty of evidence against you before I decided to make my move. I wasn't trying to gather anything, but when I realized that you wouldn't just learn your boundaries, I decided at least you foist yourself on your own petard.
But then, if you've got all that evidence, what are you going to do with it? I seriously doubt that someone like you would just be holding all of this only to give it to her brother-in-law, right?
I was actually going to take all of this and go talk to a lawyer, if you really must know. But the reason that I even decided to take all of this to your husband in the first place is because I wanted to know what he thought of it. I wanted to know if he thought it would be enough to convince everyone that I was telling the truth about you. And of course, he was just so disappointed in you when he did realize what a horrible person you had been to me this entire time, but he thanked me for finally making him see the truth about you. And if that was a reaction that told me that I finally had more than enough to make everyone believe me about what you've been doing and saying to me.
But then, no, this can't be right. This can't be happening at all. This isn't how this thing was supposed to go. I mean, are you really telling me that my husband took your word over mine?
It just wasn't my word that he was taking over yours, you know. It was all the proof that I had gotten against you. He only had his own thoughts and guesses about what was going on between us. But yesterday, when we had our chat about all that you'd done to me, he had no choice to finally believe all the things that he never wanted to about the kind of person that you really are. In fact, he even said that this was enough to make him want to divorce you. So what do you think about that, huh?
Hold on a second. You're telling me that on top of showing my husband all of this and making him disappointed in me that he's going to ask me for a divorce because of this as well?
That's right. In case, I don't know if you've noticed, but your husband isn't even at home right now. And do you want to know what I think he might be doing at this exact moment? I think that he might be out talking to a lawyer about how he can divorce you right now. I mean, I suppose I might know more than enough just to guess, since I was the one who told him about this really great family lawyer that I know in the first place.
Oh, come on. This has got to be some kind of joke or something, right? I mean, why would you go and do something like this? Are you trying to tear my family apart? What's the matter with you? I know that you think you've won right now, but I'm here to let you know that I'm not going to let myself be bested by some idiot nobody like you. This is all your fault. You're the reason I'm getting divorced, do you know that? You've completely ruined my marriage and blown up my family. I hope that you're happy with yourself. But I really don't think that you know who it is that you're messing with. You have made a very serious enemy with someone who, unlike you, has gone to college and at a very, very, very nice school, too. I'm going to find a way to get back at you for this. I know what I'll do, in fact. How about I sue you since you like lawyers so much, huh? I'll sue you for slander. You're just a nobody who I can't see ever wanting to stick up for at all. And on the other hand, I'm a gorgeous and smart woman who went to amazing school. There'll be no contest at all when I take you into court. You're just a loser with nothing going for you, and I'm going to prove it by suing you into oblivion. You're not going to have a single cent left to your name by the time that I'm done with you. And when I finally have had my way with you and left you broke and penniless, crying on the ground and begging me for mercy, only then will I think that I finally trained you on how to show respect to your betters.
Wow, what a bunch of text to wake up to. It's not every day that someone types out their personal manifesto of revenge and delivers it right to your phone. But I'm going to make things clear for you again. For probably the millionth time at this point, really, I did not drop out of high school. And if that's the only reason why you think I'm such a moron, then I think you're going to need to go back and double check your facts, because you are getting that one detail very wrong.
Oh man, that really is just too much to hear from a complete loser like you. You are just so pathetic, do you know that? I mean, did you really think that I was ever going to believe a lie like that? Did you think that you were tricking me or something like that? Nothing you can do is ever going to stop me. You'll pay for what you did to me. I'll crush you like the bug that you are.
Are you sure about that? Because I think you should know that I've already hired a lawyer, and they are already filing the necessary paperwork against you.
Hold on a second. You mean that you really did actually hire a lawyer? And that you're really actually going to be suing me?
Oh, but of course. And I plan to bleed you dry, so I hope that you're ready for this.
Wait a second, why am I letting you trick me like this? I know that you're not being real with me. I know that you're nothing but a liar with all of this. But I know for a fact that an idiot like you couldn't even figure out how to hire a lawyer. You probably just learned what that word even means.
You do know that I run a factory in town, don't you? I mean, you keep treating me like I'm a nobody, but I literally am supervisor to hundreds and hundreds of workers.
Wait, what? What on earth are you talking about now? Why are you trying to pass yourself as a factory foreman of all people? You think I'm really going to buy this new lie when I didn't believe the old ones?
Come on, Cindy. You know that I've gone over this with you over and over again. You know that I run one of the factories that your dad's company manages. Just why do you think it is that him and I get along so well in the first place? We always have things to talk about, especially when it comes to the industry. And I know that we're really not supposed to talk about how much money we make since it's not classy, but let's just say that I am more than comfortable.
Wait a second. That can't be right at all. Are you telling me that you actually work at the company that my dad's company owns? But, I mean, they only deal with really big clients.
And just what does that tell you about the caliber that your dad and I are working at right now? Did you really not know that I've known your dad for a good long while before I even married into this family? Actually, when I first started working at the factory, it wasn't long after I had to drop out of high school way back then. I think that it's already been about 10 years since all of that happened.
Hold on a second. You're telling me that you've known my dad for a whole decade, and I had no idea about it at all?
It really is true. You see, it wasn't long after I had started high school when both my parents died in a car crash. By then, I was old enough to legally emancipate myself and become a legally recognized adult if I so chose, and so I did. But that meant that I had to start taking care of myself, so I dropped out of school and found a job at a local factory. It was actually there that I first met your dad, and he gave me my job there. I told him that I do whatever it takes to be a success and to take care of myself, and he's been like a mentor to me ever since.
But I mean, does this just mean that you owe everything you have, even your own job right now, just to the graciousness of my dad? Doesn't that make you nothing but a little parasite who has never accomplished anything in their lives? You really thought that you were going to shock me with that little story about knowing my dad from way back? But now I know that you're really nothing but his lackey.
I am sure that when your dad took me under his wing that it was just out of compassion first, but he quickly taught me how to provide for myself. He was always convincing me to go for promotions I didn't think that I was ready for. He was nothing but a kind-hearted man who wanted to see an orphan like me succeed. I actually ran into his son much later on though. It was totally out of work and at a complete coincidence. But when he took me to meet his parents, Frank and I just laughed and laughed at how small the world really was.
But then, you mean, this entire family has been on your side this whole time? How can this be? I thought that they would surely take my side in all of this. You knew that you could blow up my family like this at any time. You tricked me. This isn't fair. How could you do this to me? You're so cruel.
I didn't do anything that you weren't already doing. And besides, you basically made it sound like you married into this family for the money and nothing else.
Don't tell me that you showed my husband all those texts where we talked about that too. I wouldn't do something like that, right? You know how bad that would make me look?
Of course I showed him those texts. Why do you think he was so let down with you in the first place? I mean, did you really think that you were just going to get away with what you were doing and how you were treating people? I went to go and talk to the family that we both married into, and everyone more or less agreed that they were just sick of the way that you were treating not only me, but people in general. You're just so full of yourself. And now we've all decided that we've put up with you for long enough. So believe it or not, you are getting divorced and I am suing, and that is that. After that, everything went so how I said it would. First, my brother-in-law began his divorce process with Cindy. When it was all said and done, she was out of place to live. She was already in a lot of personal debt, and after she packed up her bags and moved away, nobody ever heard from her again. Some people think that the shady people she was borrowing money from took her away in the night. But luckily, before that could happen, I was able to get my lawsuit in and take her to court for all kinds of property destruction and mental anguish. I knew that I was only driving her deep into debt, but it really wasn't my problem at all, so I didn't actually care all that much. Meanwhile, without Cindy there to ruin everything for the rest of the family, I was only able to get closer to my spouse's family, and we were all greatly enjoying each other's company. Frank apologized again for not picking up on just how terrible his daughter was being. He told me that it was like having to pick between his own children when it came to us, but I guess now we know which one was the favorite. Things have mostly returned to normal now, and with my married life back on track and my career showing no signs of slowing down, of course I wish things went better between Cindy and I, but I'm just glad she's gone now. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.